require from the students?
Yeah, I just added one more thing. The last time I just had a graphic designing. Now I added the Adobe Photoshop. And on the right hand side, I have two columns like a database. If anyone has any basic or advanced level of knowledge in any kind of database, could be SQL, Oracle, big data, BI, business intelligence. Or in the same time, right now, these two things are getting very popular, especially the Google Workspace. This is a lot of company and enterprises out there who cannot have their own license for different software and applications. They are moving towards the Google Workspaces. So if anybody has any knowledge on this, the Google Workspace, please let us know so we can utilize their skill.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Naim Saab. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the contract. You guys will probably have the contract in your hands by tomorrow night. And usme ye hai ki I have a few stipulations in there. And it's very straightforward. It's a one-page contract. So we wanted to do something a bit more, of course, formal and stuff, but we realized that it's just going to be a bit more like strain on you guys reading that. So just wanted to make it very layman's terms, and you understand, most of you are my friends anyway, so I understand the retention is there. So in the contract is basically laying out small things like we will train you, okay? We'll also help you find, of course, we will help you find work as well. And if, for example, the only way that happens, if for example, if we don't have work ourselves, that's the only time we actually send you for recruitment into other firms, and you will be going through us, so we will be with you the whole way. We will also job train you at the same time. That's something that Naim Saab is very specifically specialized at, because he knows the ins and outs of the industries, I guess, all over the world. So the same transferable skills apply there too. In that regards, the other thing I want to say is that no matter who it is in class, people who aren't even here today, I will be talking to them one-on-one and see how much they are interested in this still. I also want to make sure that when the brochure is finished, I want to pass it to all of you guys and share it with all of your networks as well. This is one of those things I actually want you guys to do, is that to push AWS and of course Bizvaria towards all of your networks, whether it be your friends. It's like word to mouth marketing. And this is how it actually starts. And whoever you bring in, we actually have a commission structure as well. So you will be getting some of the profits from that as well. I think Naim Saab also talked about Amazon, AWS, and India. So he just mentioned that $20 billion worth of work from China is shifting to India, and we're not getting that piece of the pie. So it's a bit of an unfortunate timing for us. Like if we were actually in the market right now, we could have had a bit of a bite off of that as well, if we had a bigger company at this point in time. The last thing I want you guys to do is to take professional pictures, and I need you guys to actually send them over. Naim Saab, who's taking care of the pictures right now? I wanted to ask you, is it Haris, or is it for our team, for yourself? Hello?
Hi. Yes, sorry. मैं म्यूट पे था
तो no worries.
So this, if you can see my screen, यहाँ पे इस तरह से हम ना टीम, अपनी जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं, they are going to be part of the Bizvaria team. हम उनकी पिक्चर पोस्ट करेंगे, और इसके अंदर जो पाकिस्तान में ख़ास करके जो लोग हैं उनके लिए जब हम वेबिनार्स करेंगे पाकिस्तान में, so we will show them you as our team members. So अपनी पिक्चर्स दें. तो जुनेद is going to take care of that, or anybody else. I think क्या नाम है, Maheen, she can assign these tasks to somebody. So what I need for my slides, I need something, pictures, so I can put here.
Okay, perfect. And I guess the last thing that we're going to be doing is that two of the members from Bizvaria, of course, one is our director, Tanveer Saab, and of course, Minahil, they're going to be doing testimonials today. So whenever you guys have the time, make like a video of yourselves talking about your experience in Bizvaria, because we're probably going to make a small kind of a video out of that as well, showing how like you guys progressed and did in Bisvaria while Naeem Saab was giving you lectures. So I'd like to know your output as well through what is it called? Video testimonial. There's something that you guys can do in the meantime, and of course, if you want to write something too, that's fine. But we're looking for video testimonials because it's a good incentive to make it into a video and push it on our social networks later on. So I guess that would cover all the points. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Naeem Saab?
जी हाँ, मैं कह रहा था कि हारिस और मिनाहिल दे आर गोइंग टू हैव ये टेस्टिमोनियल वीडियो ऑन मंडे, तो वो फिर हम शेयर करेंगे पूरी क्लास के साथ. दे कैन फॉलो दोज काइंड ऑफ क्या कहते हैं गाइडलाइन, हाउ टू व्हाट टू से एंड किस तरह से पिक्चर होनी चाहिए, एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे इनको मिल जाएगी, तो वो उसको फॉलो कर सकते हैं.
Tika, perfect. Okay, guys, I'm going to let Naeem Saab do his lecture now. So if anyone is not in class, well, feel bad for them right now, but that's fine. We'll still have videos for them later. So Naeem Saab, it's all yours now.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I have a question. For Naeem, the picture that you need, is it for the webinar?
Yeah, we can use that picture for different, for the social media marketing and as well as for my webinar slides, जिसमें हम एक तो दिखाएंगे डायरेक्टर्स की पिक्चर्स होंगी, एक पेज होगा अबाउट द बसवेरिया एंड हु आर द डायरेक्टर्स, एंड देन द टीम बसवेरिया टीम. उसके अंदर हम पाकिस्तान में टीम दिखाएंगे, USA में दिखाएंगे, कनाडा में दिखाएंगे और क्या कहते हैं यूके में, क्योंकि हमारी ये कंपनी जो है ना यूके में भी रजिस्टर्ड है, पाकिस्तान में और कनाडा में. तो वी विल शो देम वी ऑलरेडी इन आवर प्रेजेंस इन दीज कंट्रीज. तो वो डिफरेंट टीम्स बना के ना, तो वी विल शो इन द वेबिनार्स.
ओके सर.
ओके, थैंक यू फाहिद फॉर दिस ब्रीफ. एंड मैं चाह रहा था कि आज मैक्सिमम लोग आएँ, क्लास अटेंड करें, क्योंकि ये इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी वेरी क्रिटिकल एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. इट इज़ अ वेरी लेंथी टॉपिक एंड आई विल गो स्लो. और इसके अंदर ये है कि व्हाट माय एक्सपेक्टेशंस आर आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग दिस lecture. Then I have another very short lectures on couple of more things like elastic bean and cloud formation, and after that I will have AWS databases. So जब वो cover कर लेंगे, then I was thinking like this, my son Haris is going to give you a short like his experience in the exam, कि उसने कैसा लगा उसको एग्ज़ाम, उसने क्या कहाँ से तैयारी की, वो सारी चीज़ें आपके साथ शेयर करेगा. और फिर हम ये चाहते हैं कि आप ना इंडिविजुअल भी स्टडी करें एंड द कोलैबोरेटिव स्टडी एज वेल. लाइक यू कैन कम ऑनलाइन ऑल टुगेदर, यू कैन मेक अ ग्रुप्स like minded people, they can come, or the whole team can come and they can review the question together and then start क्या कहते हैं picking brains, तो एक दूसरे को चैलेंज करें. सो आफ्टर दैट, क्योंकि हमारा जो टारगेट है कि वी वांट मैक्सिमम पीपल पास दिस एग्जाम in a week or two after the completion of this course. So
Naeem, before you go forward, I just wanted to ask, did you talk to them about Alibaba as well and the transferable skills over there too?
Yes, in the last class I showed them the Alibaba's portal, and I showed them what they call in their environment, like S3 is OSS, like EC2 here is called ECS. So the same things, again, as you are creating the instance, they have instance family as well, वैसे ही large, small, same thing. So this is transferable skill, doesn't matter what environment you work in, like Amazon, Google, wherever you go, these skills is going to applicable everywhere. So also, yes, thank you for mentioning this, कि इसके बाद जो मैं फोकस करने लगा हूँ वो अलीबाबा पे करने लगा हूँ. उसमें दो चीज़ें हैं, एक तो अलीबाबा बहुत तेज़ी से ग्रो कर रहा है इन एशिया पैसिफिक में. दूसरा ये है कि अलीबाबा के अंदर इतने ज़्यादा ट्रेनिंग अवेलेबल नहीं है. इवन आई ट्राइड ऑन द यूट्यूब एंड डिफरेंट ट्रेनिंग प्रोवाइडिंग यूडमी और इस तरह की वेबसाइट्स हैं, तो वहाँ पे भी उनके कंटेंट नहीं है. सो दिस इज़ अ गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी. और डेफिनेटली जब क्लाउड की अडॉप्टेबिलिटी की बात आएगी, तो आई थिंक चाइना इज़ क्लोज टू पाकिस्तान. आई एम अज्यूमिंग दैट मे बी वी कैन प्रोग्रेस मोर effectively in the Alibaba's cloud deployment. और AWS तो है ही है, वो तो वो पायनियर्स हैं इसके अंदर, लेकिन अली बाबा जो है ना उसकी जो स्ट्रेटजी है, मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटजी टू कैप्चर द एशिया पैसिफिक इज़ वेरी वेरी यानी कि अफेक्टिव, और उनका प्राइस भी अच्छी है। तो हो सकता है कि एक तो वो चाइना का इन्फ्लुएंस भी है एशिया पैसिफिक में, तो आई एम होपिंग वी कैन वंस वी हैव दिस ट्रेनिंग अवेलेबल फॉर अलीबाबा एंड वी हैव अ कपल ऑफ मे बी 3-4 लोग उसमें सर्टिफाइड कर जाते हैं, तो then we can also have a partnership with Alibaba. So
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's get started. So today's class. So जो last class हमने की थी तो उसका we're going to review the question first. So any volunteer? अनमोल,
सर आपकी स्क्रीन नहीं शो हो रही है?
स्क्रीन नहीं आ रही?
एटलीस्ट मुझे तो नहीं आ रही, बाकियों को आ रही है?
किसी को
आ रही है सर।
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So
Sorry.
Almol, do you want to read the question?
Yes, sir. In this example, aws.amazon.com, AWS is the top level domain, AWS is the subdomain, AWS is the second level domain.
Sir, is it B?
Which one?
Sir, B.
B. यार मेरा ये एक मिनट, मेरा इधर जस्ट अ सेकंड, मैं ये अपना पेन रेडी कर रहा हूँ। Yeah, who's this Hamza?
Sir, Zuhaib.
Zohaib, yes. Okay.
DNS works in what manner? Flat manner, round robin manner, और सर ये तीसरा वाला कैसे प्रोनाउंस होगा?
Hierarchical.
Hierarchical manner.
मुझे भी एक ट्रबल है इसको प्रोनाउंस करने में।
I think it's hierarchical. C.
Thank you, Nasheen.
How does route S3 knows your domain name?
53.
By lookup.
Route 53.
Sorry, 53. Sorry. By lookup in the database, you have number 2. You have created hosted zone by sending requests to top level domain.
Is it hosted zone?
That's correct.
DNS is used to convert human-friendly domain names such as bizvia.com into address. इसके 2 correct answers: 32 bits long address, IPVG address, MAC address, name server.
Am I allowed to answer?
Who's this?
Haris.
Okay, go ahead.
B, IPv6.
Okay. And?
Oh, there's 2 answers.
Yeah.
DNS used to convert unified domain to name server?
Is it A, sir?
That's correct.
Oh, that's right. Okay, there we go.
So why Junaid is not answering? Did you attend this class?
I watched the lecture, but I was unsure.
Okay, go ahead.
I was thinking
No,
about it.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Even you don't know the answer, even you give a wrong answer, that's okay.
Okay.
www and AWS are what level of domains? Second levels, below the SLD, higher the second level domain, and below the top level domain.
SLD means second level. So below the SLD, second level, higher the second level, below the top level domain.
C.
See, higher the second level domain. So www and AWS.
Is it D below the top level? They're both below the top level domain, I think.
No.
Can I?
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Below the second level, the www.
So it's below what?
Below the second level domain,
Yeah, that's correct.
and AWS is
Yes, both are the
Okay,
below,
one is-
both are below the second level.
Each domain name became registered. Each domain name became registered in a central database known as ICANN, Inter and ICWHOIS.
I think it is C.
Who's this?
Sajda?
Yes, Sajida, you're correct. Okay.
A dash server is a computer designated to translate domain names into IP addresses. These servers do most of the work in the DNS. Local name server. Sorry, bolo.
Sorry, continue.
नहीं, local name server, and root name server.
I think it is C again.
Okay, what is the key here? Translate
I think it's A because it translates like the name server.
into IP.
Sir, is it C?
No, root name only understand .com. So converting into IP address is a local name server or the name server. Okay.
These are the DNS servers that contain the complete database of domain names and their corresponding IP addresses. Local name server, or root name server.
Haris, you want to answer this?
C, root name server.
Okay. The complete database of domain names and their corresponding IP address.
So is it D?
Yeah, that's correct. So, see, they have the database. They have actually translate the name server into a host, human-friendly name into the IP address. It's the job of the name server because they have a complete information up to the each. They do the mapping actually, the host name mapping with the assigned IP address. Okay.
Dash servers represent the most low-level DNS servers that are owned and maintained by many business organizations and internet service providers. Local name server, or root name server?
Local name server.
That's correct. So when you see the keyword is ISP, Internet Service Provider. So it's, remember the example I gave you, your neighborhood, and when he want to go to कौन सी मास्क थी वो, फैसल मास्क इन इस्लामाबाद. तो he asked to the neighbor. The neighbor mean ISP.
Which servers can resolve frequently used domain names into their corresponding IP address by caching the recent information? Local name server, root name server.
Alternative C.
Okay, look at the question symbol. Can resolve frequently
Sir,
used domain.
It is local name server A.
That's correct. The thing is very close to you. It could be your browser. Every browser has a cache. और cache में ये है कि if you recently visited any website, it will the path will be resolved by the cache. It's already there. So check-in is called the local name server. Your ISP also are running the DNS services. So they have a big cache. If you have recently resolved that name through the ISP, then is ISP going to respond you right back with the path to the website. Otherwise, you have to go to all the cycle for the root server, then the domain name server, then the name servers. Remember that diagram? Okay.
Yes, sir.
With simple routing policy, you can only have one record with dash IP addresses, single, two, or multiple.
A, single.
That's true.
Use split traffic based on different weights in dash policy. Latency-based routing policy, weighted-based routing policy, failover routing policy, or geolocation policy.
Is it
B, sir.
B? Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it B weighted based routing?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Dash routing policies allows you to direct traffic based on the geographic location of your users and your AWS resources. Geoproximity based routing, weighted based routing, failover routing, and geolocation. A, sir.
A.
Okay. Why you think A?
I think it's D.
I think it's D as well.
No, the answer was correct, but look at these keywords here. So these are telling you about when you see the user and AWS, so that's a geoproximity. Remember I showed you the diagram where they were showing the specific area, the region wise, or you can actually provide their 25% traffic will go there. If you're living in London East, so you can say, okay, plus 25, the US East or London East. So that has a more proximity. So people all from the east side of the London, they will go to that servers. And if you do the minus thing, so that's mean the less people going to go from, for example, from the London West. If you have a policy like minus 25 for you London East, so the user in London West, they might not get to there, and their traffic will go to only to the London West side, not to the east side. So geoproximity based routing, that's correct.
Which routing policy lets you choose the resources to serve your traffic based on the geographic location of your users? That is the location from where DNS queries originate. A.
I think A.
No, see, this is a difference between geoproximity
It's
and the
D,
geolocation. Yeah,
geolocation.
that's correct. So the reason is this, because it's telling based on the queries. If you're requesting from Lahore, so all the query will go to the nearest DNS server. So proximity is something else. This is a geolocation based on the requesters who's requesting from what part of the city and what part of the country. That's it. Pretty good. If you want to drink water, grab your coffee, go ahead and do it. I'm going to start the lecture.
सर ये जो अभी आप वीपीसी पढ़ाएंगे ये एक लेक्चर में तो कवर नहीं होगा, तो हम मतलब 2-3 लेक्चर्स होंगे इस पे? सर अगर आप कुछ बोल रहे हैं तो आपका माइक म्यूट है।
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि अभी इस पे ये है कि मैं स्लो इसलिए जाऊँगा कि इसमें काफ़ी कंपोनेंट्स हैं वीपीसी के, मुझे हर कंपोनेंट आपको समझाना है, और जो मैं इसमें फ़्लो बनाऊँगा वो फ़्लो आपको ना इनग्रेव करना है अपने दिमाग के अंदर, उसको यानी कि पिक्चर बनानी है उसकी, क्योंकि जब एग्ज़ाम में आपको सिनेरियो क्वेश्चन आएंगे ना, यू कैन रिलेट दोज काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन कि वो ये कहाँ से आ रहा है, ये क्या कह रहा है, इसका क्या मीनिंग है। तो इन दिस क्लास आई एम गोइंग टू एक्चुअली सिंप्लीफाई द टॉपिक एज, हर टॉपिक जो मैं इसमें लेके आ रहा हूँ उसको आपको जो रियल लाइफ सिनेरियोज़ हैं उसके साथ मैं रिलेट कर रहा हूँ, ताकि जब सिनेरियो क्वेश्चन आए तो आप भी इसको सोचें कि अच्छा ये कहाँ खड़ा है, ये इसका क्या मतलब है। तो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। So the first thing is that you have to have a AWS account. So जब आप AWS पे account create करते हो, so that's account mean you have global access to the AWS. ये आप सबको पता है कि AWS account को कैसे create करना है, and once you have the account then you have a global access. Global access mean when you go to the console, so you can go and select any region just from the drop down. So that means you have access all over the world, wherever they have their presence as a AWS service provider, and then they have their data centers. So that's giving you global access. Once you just create the account, कोई भी account खोलो, you will have a global access. So this is the first thing you have to understand. It's not a regional access, it's a global access. So you can, I remember if I have shown you, I created many EC2 instances in London, Australia. We did a replication to Australia location. So that's mean the global access. So I'm giving the example like this hotel chain, a Holiday Inn. So I don't know any of you have ever become their member, like different hotels chains, they have their membership, loyalty, उसको कहते हैं loyalty program, so you can become their members. So I have been a members of many hotels when I was traveling a lot. You are collecting your points. So same concept is here. Holiday Inn, let's see, I am a member of Holiday Inn, I'm staying at the hotel, I'm collecting the points. So that's another thing. But the thing is, when you become a member of Holiday Inn, अब जब Holiday Inn की membership लेते हो तो वो भी आपको वही privilege है जो AWS दे रहा है. So that's mean Holiday Inn membership are valid at locations around the world. So anywhere you go, I mean, if I go to Australia, London, England, Pakistan, if they have a holiday in Pakistan, then I will be collecting my points. I will be have a privileges depend upon the my membership level. For example, last time I was with Hampton Inn, so I had a platinum because I was staying a lot in hotels. So they have a different category, golden, silver. So जितना आप उसको use करेंगे, they will give you a more higher level of this membership. So the main thing here to understand that this membership is as valid as the AWS account is worldwide, and this membership is worldwide. So having this, what's the benefit of having this membership? The first thing is, whenever you go and they give you priorities, they give you if you want to book a room, then they will give you priority on the basis of your membership level. But here's not the concern of the priority. Here's that the membership is valid worldwide. This is a key point you have to remember before I go to the next slide. So let's see in the London region, right? I arrived in London, and in the London region, they have their 4 locations. London East, London West, and North and South, right? If I book a room in a Holiday Inn, because I'm their member and the privilege I have, they're going to give me a suite. If I book a suite, they're going to give me a suite. In case, for example, अगर इस किसी एक लोकेशन में आग लग जाती है, if the hotel is on fire, so they are bound to give me the same suite in another location. For example, I was staying in the west area, so in the west area here, so मैंने रूम बुक करवाया and somehow they got fire. तो वहाँ आग लग गई, तो उन्होंने मुझे then they give me the same room, same setup, everything in the east side. So this is the benefit I have as a member. So I can go any country, I can book a room, and if something goes wrong, they're going to provide me the similar setup, similar size of suite in any other location. So this is the benefit of membership. Exactly same thing in AWS doing. Once you become a global member, so you go any country, you create any resources there. If something happens, you always have a replication of that. So I'm going to the next slide. So what's exactly going to happen? So once you are on the regional level, when you, just like I showed you, I landed in London. So now I'm talking about, because I'm physically there, and now the whole London region in front of me, I can pick any location in London. So region-wise access to the all web services. The first, we have a global. When I select the location from that drop-down menu, I select the London or EU East or West. So now I'm in the region level. So what happened in the region level, I will have access to all the web services of the London region and all the availability zone in the location east or west. All these locations in the hotels, they are think like that. These are the availability zone. So I will have access all the services in each and every availability zone in the London region. So far, so good?
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Junaid?
Yes, sir.
Understand the concept? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about the region, so in the region we have, like, for example, in London region, we have 2 buildings. One is called availability zone A, which is what? What is availability zone? Anybody? I think everybody should know that by now.
Yeah, availability zone is basically where the region, where AWS is available in the region, correct?
That's correct. So availability zone, the entire building, think about this. This is a database, this is data center, and this data center contains these kind of servers. So this is independent building. They have their own power connection. They have own entrance and exit. They has nothing to do with this building. So this is totally independent entity. This is have a complete control on this building. So the availability zone B is also independent from this A building. If something happened in this building, they will provide me the same resources, same capacity, same size of. I'm referring right now to the apartment. So this is the building. In this building, I have apartment. So if something happened to this building or even in my apartment, they're going to provide me the same size of apartment and with same setting in the building B, because both are independent, right? So if this building is on fire, so they're going to give me these same things here. Now, when we say this in the building, and then we're talking about the apartment in the building. So apartment in the building mean in AWS world, now I'm using the terminology. So this apartment in this building is called VPN, Virtual Private Network. And because I bought the apartment in this B building, so this apartment is going to be, because they have as a member, as a global account holder, in case of fire, they're going to provide me the same size of apartment in another building. So that's mean VPN, this apartment has a value of the regional level. So I am very safe here. If anything happen in the London region to my apartment or my building, I am safe. I will be getting the same thing in other building. So when every time to create the virtual private network, or that virtual private network will be at the regional level. क्योंकि आपको कुछ भी हो जाए, आपको उन्होंने उस रीजन के अंदर उसका सब्स्टिट्यूट देना ही देना. अगर आग लग गई है तो दूसरी बिल्डिंग में ले जाएंगे, तीसरी बिल्डिंग में ले जाएंगे, जितने भी उनके डेटा सेंटर्स हैं. सो दैट्स मीन यू हैव टू क्रिएट व्हेन यू क्रिएट द VPN, you create at the regional level. So understand the global level and the regional level. When in the region you have a different building, in the building you have apartment को आग लग जाती है, then they're going to provide the same apartment in other buildings. So that's why you create the VPN on the regional level. This is the key things you have to remember. VPN is always created on the regional level. So this is the key thing. So now I'm going to do the analogy. Amazon Virtual Private Cloud let you provision a logically isolated section. So what this mean? This mean you have a apartment in the building. So building के अंदर बहुत सारे apartment हैं, but you have got the one apartment which is totally isolated from other apartment. You have complete control in your apartment. Entrance, you can enter the apartment, you can leave the apartment, and you can do whatever changes you want in the apartment. So it's logically isolated from the rest of the apartment in the building. That's the one thing. Where you can launch AWS resources in a virtual network that you define. इसको ये देखें कि मेरा अपार्टमेंट है, उसके अंदर जो मैं फर्नीचर लेके आ रहा हूँ, think about that. मेरा टीवी है, मेरा यानी कि जो भी appliances I'm going to bring in the apartment, those are the resources. So now I have an apartment. In that apartment, I am going to have my furniture and all the appliances. So those appliances are my resources. So number one, VPN on the regional level. Number two, we're going to bring the resources in that apartment, which is logically isolated. So what you have a complete control of your virtual networking environment, I mean the apartment, including selection of, I'll talk about the IP address range. So now, what is this? Once you have this apartment, and this apartment is your VPN, right? So then you're going to further divide because you have a complete control on this. So you are going to divide this apartment into small section. For example, you have a room, right? This is the bedroom. This is the bedroom. This is the living room. Like this is the kitchen area, right? So this is up to you. You can divide this the way you want it because the whole apartment is yours. So let's look at the next slide. I'll make more sense to you. Look at this. Is the big picture of this apartment. So this apartment has been divided into different rooms and the living room and the kitchen area. So each room has their own size. Look at this. It's a master bedroom, 11 by 8 inch into 11 by 6 inch, right? Then we have a living, which is 12 by 10 inches. 12 by 10 feet and 8 inches. Similar, we have another bedroom. All this area has been divided, and then we have created the environment for our living. So question I have for you, which area you think should be the private and which area should be the public? For example, public mean where you will allow your friends to come in and sit, and where would you not allow any other your friends and family members to come in?
Sir, living room, friends.
Okay, friends in.
Yeah, bedrooms would be private.
Okay, what about the bathroom?
Sir, a bedroom would be private. Extremely private. Extremely private.
Right. So we know the name. This is the bedroom. This is the bathroom. This is the living room. Let's give them what it looks like in a cloud environment. What we would call in the cloud, and what this size going to be. Here we say in feet, and how we going to name this as a component in the cloud, and how we going to give the size of this. So the whole apartment is a virtual private cloud, which is an isolated location in the building, right? So I call this bedroom a subnet. And then I call this area as subnet as well. And this is subnet. The office is also subnet. And then we have a kitchen is a subnet, and then another bedroom is a subnet. So you said bedroom is going to be private because I won't allow my friends to walk in directly into my bedroom, right? So let's call this private subnet. Then we have all these private subnet. And this one in the living room is going to be a public subnet. Remember that public and private subnet when we created the EC2 instances?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now, this apartment has the gate or entrance door. People are coming in and leaving the apartment as well. They're using this door. So we call this internet gateway. So we have what we have here. We have a VPC, which is a private cloud. In this VPC, we have a subnet. And those subnets are private. Some of them are private, some of them public. And then to enter to the public subnet, we need a gate, even for the rest of the subnet as well. And that gate is called Internet Gateway. Good? Clear?
Yep.
Zabardast. So let's see the life before VPC. So what was happening before? The people were coming to the AWS cloud when there was no concept of the VPC. They are creating their resources anywhere in the cloud. Let's see, all they say select London region, and I go there, or Nosheen go there. She going to create the EC2 instance in London region, and she doesn't have a specific area. She can create, just select the London region and create the EC2 instance. That's what's happening before the VPC, because it's not organized. Also, there was a security challenges because you don't have a complete control, and it was not logically isolated. So these things were happening before the VPC. So see, everybody was managing their own resources. For example, if one user have 3 resources and he was logging in for each and every resource and managing itself independently. So that was happening. And then they have been given a public IP address for the public access, and then they were communicating over the private IP address to each other, but still there was no control. And it was also vulnerable for the security risk was there. So what happened to make it more secure, they say we have to organize this. We have to give people control, and just remember the sharing model. So then they're going to decide the responsibility of the AWS, and then they're going to decide who is responsible, what part of the security. And this is how come the VPC in pictures. So now when they have a VPC, now for example, Nosheen has these three like EC2 instance of London region. So this is a part of Nosheen's VPC. So they have isolated, and she has complete control of this chunk of these servers. And then she's going to connect to this EC2 instance in those VPC, and she has a complete control, and she can assign anybody else using the IAM services. For example, she has employee, and she can give them a right so they can manage, one of employee can manage one server, then second maybe the second server, and third one second. And but then their organization, their enterprise, or their company, or whatever they call it, business, have a complete control on this one. So now they have one entering point, which is like a VPC, internet gateway, and they can use the internet gateway, and they can manage their service in their isolated location in the cloud. Same thing here. There's other user. They have a complete control of their resources under their VPC, and the VPC is under the region level. So things are to remember is VPC on region level. And then you have data center is availability zone. After that, you have the your resources. So these are three VPCs, and three different users are managing their resources and that location. And think about, they have three different apartments, and each apartment is being controlled by each individual independently. So virtual cloud is basically having your own defined network. So because you create the VPC, so this is you defined, and then you can define what? You can define the size, how big VPC you want. Remember, the apartment size always has a size. You like some have a 2-bedroom apartment, 4-bedroom apartment. Exactly in same analogy here, you can select VPC of your choice. The size is matter. Is up to you how big your organization is. So what is VPC? Here's a definition. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Amazon Virtual Private Cloud provides a logically isolated area of AWS cloud. You have complete control over your virtual network, and you can provide I think I missed something on the previous slide. Oh, no, that's it. So I just want to show here something. So the size, I forgot to tell you what size mean. So see here the size we have. I thought I have created the size here is in in feet per square feet. When you size the subnet, then this is we call IP range block. What is IP range block is? So for this subnet, I say I want 16 IP addresses for this private subnet. So I will sign a block look like this: 10.0.0.0/28. This is the size of the block. What's /28 mean? I will show you in the coming slide when we're going to talk about the block range and all those kind of things. But since I know this, so block 28 means 16 IP address. So this subnet will have a 16 IP address. So what this mean? If I say this subnet has a 16 IP address, what this mean? What can I do with that 16 IP addresses? This is the question.
Sir, we can launch 16 different EC2s?
Zabardast. That's what I was looking for. You understand each device on the network is located, identified by their IP address. So you can have EC2 instances, you can have a database instances, you can have a S3, all those kind of things which is talking on the internet should have IP addresses. So in this specific subnet, I will have 16 devices, 16 web services which are using the IP addresses in this particular subnet, which is a private. So that's what it means. So the size of the subnet is measured by the block range of the IP address. This is another thing you have to remember.
Sorry, sir, I have a question. So I answered 16 EC2 instances. So does that mean कि जो बाकी आपने जिस तरह बोला कि services भी हैं, SQS है, SNS है, do they count? मतलब उनकी भी separate IPv address count होगा अगर हम वो use करेंगे?
Yes, definitely. More service you add, each device, think about the device. हर कोई भी service, कोई भी device करेंगे, they cannot communicate to each other until they have been assigned a IP address. जैसे आप अपने पास फ़ोन है लेकिन फ़ोन में सिम नहीं है तो how you going to communicate? So every is the same. Think about every SIM is attached, has attached a phone number to it. The mapping of the SIM is to the phone number. Exactly same thing here.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, now just I want to look at this component, this high-level overview of the create a network VPC component. So we have here something called VPC. We have a router. We have an internet gateway. We have a customer gateway. And then we have elastic IP addresses. Other things we have route table. We have VPN connection. We have a virtual private gateway, and then we have a subnet. These are the components we will be talking about in the rest of the courses. Not only these, but there are more others. Okay.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So does it work with IP version 6? Because there's no concept of public and private.
Yes, it's we're going to cover as well. So you can assign IPv6 and IPv4 as well to the subnet. So remember when we were creating the EC2 instances and we were especially the security group, and we were allowing the traffic from IPv4, and that was like what you call :/ I'll show you. And then we have 4: and then /. 4: / is for IPv6. I'll show you that when we get to that point. So again, I'm taking the example of logistic London. And in this London, we have East London, we have West London, and we have 2 buildings in this, and we have apartment. And when if you're driving to logistic London, you will see there's a welcome sign. That means that the London district start from there. When you enter to the London, just like Lahore, Karachi, Peshawar, आपने लिखा होगा कि you are entering that region, and there's an entry point for that. So we call the gateway. So so the traffic coming in and out from this gateway, and then we have a cop in the city who actually directing the traffic. So it's the city level, things are happening. If somebody asks this traffic cop, he want to go to East London, so he has all the information and he can give you a direction how to get there. So what happened, each and every building have a security office at the entry point, right? So first, everybody who comes into the building, they have to go through the security office, and the security office has all the information. He know who owned the apartment in this building, and who's just coming as a guest, right? So he will note it down information, and he will then allow the guest to go into the building. So he's going to enter the building, and then the next step is going to be entering the apartment. So this security is for the apartment, right? It's not for the entire building, but this security is for the apartment. What is apartment? Apartment is your VPC. But in the apartment itself, let's see, there is a one room there where you have all your expensive jewelry, treasure, and everything, and you want to secure that room as well. So you want a special kind of security for that specific room, and then you can have another security guard inside the apartment next to that room जहाँ पे आपके सारी jewelry वगैरह पड़ी हुई है. So 2 levels of security. One is outside the apartment, and the next is inside the apartment next to the specific room which has the precious things inside. So far so good. The concept clear? 2 layers of security. And the directing traffic जो cop concept clear हो गया आप सबको? It's very
Yes, sir.
real life experience, right? You are doing this daily basis. So now think about this district. London is like a region, and these buildings are availability zone, and these this is wrong. This is like a VPN, and then in the VPN we have a subnet. These offices which are outside the apartment, outside the VPN, is called Network Access Control List. Remember this name. So we will have a complete lecture on Network Access Control List. So outside the VPN and outside the VPN. Now outside the subnet, which is a room, outside the subnet we have network access control. This access control list is attached to any subnet of this building, any bedroom or living room or whatever. This list is for that. But inside that apartment, in this bedroom, there may be कोई shelf है, कोई रखी हुई अलमारी जिसके अंदर आपकी सारी ज्वेलरी एक्सपेंसिव चीज़ें हैं, उसके लिए आपने सिक्योरिटी गार्ड रखा होगा. So remember, this is for the subnet level, not VPN level, even though it's actually VPN level as well, but mostly we're going to attach the subnet with the network access control list. So think about this. This is for the subnet level security, and then we have other security which is a specific closet inside this bedroom. So that closet you can think of EC2. So remember, every time we create EC2, we always create the security group. So this is the concept of security group. So these are 2 security group, which is the security to the instance or devices you are going to have, or maybe database, whatever you want to create in this subnet. But this for the subnet level, for the bedroom level, you have a network access control list. And this person here, the cop, we call in cloud environment router. Router has all the information about which way to send the traffic. And how does it now? We will look into that. So that's called the routing table. We will discuss that as well. So this gateway is again going to be internet gateway. So here I am actually introducing three new items. One is router, network access control list, and then security group. So from the previous example was a high level, and here I'm digging step by step into the VPN area. Now in the VPN you have a network access control list, you have a security group, right? And then you have a router. Any question?
Sir? Sir, just security group, just confirming. Security group is for the entire subnet and
no,
network access.
For the subnet we have a network access control list, and security group is for the instance level, device level.
The security group is the one. Sorry, I was just going to say, so is the security group the one that you normally show us when you're configuring like the EC2 instant?
Exactly. So next slide going to help you more about this one. Let me move to the other one. So now the scenario I just showed you London region, and I showed you traffic cop and all those kind of, then I changed the name to the cop into the router and network access. Now let's create the VPN. I'm going to create the VPN from the scratch here. So I am creating this VPN in the region called US East 1. And this VPN has a size called this one, 10.0.0.0.016. This is what this means. This is the size of your apartment. So when I have a /16,
privacy contents have been updated.
so when you see size like 16/16, that means this this VPN going to have 65,000 IP addresses in it. So how I know? Let me show you. Easiest way to show you that is so what was the address? 10.10. Oh no, not 10, actually 0. The other way I can calculate actually by just is a formula. So if I look at the right side, if I put 6, it's telling you in this block, this is the block I was talking about. I remember I showed you the net subnet is measured by the IP block. When I sign this kind of IP address 10.0.0.0/16, so this block of IP address will have 65,536 IP addresses in it. So that means I can assign the 65,000 devices in the entire VPC. Got it?
सर पहले आपने दिखा
Yes, sir.
दिखाया था ये सबनेट के अंदर आप बता रहे थे कि इसका 16 आईपी एड्रेसेस हैं तो अब आप हैं कि पूरे उसका VPC
आप सबसे पहले आपको अपने घर लेना है तो आपको सबसे पहले घर का साइज चाहिए या कमरे का साइज चाहिए? आपको प्लॉट का साइज चाहिए ना, जैसे प्लॉट के ऊपर आपने बनाना है, राइट? हेलो?
Yes, sir.
तो ये जो मैंने आपको ब्लॉक पे दिस इज 16 मीन कि ये मेरा प्लॉट का साइज है जिसके ऊपर मैंने घर तामीर करना है. अब घर का अपना साइज होगा वो भी मैं ब्लॉक आपको दिखाऊंगा अभी. सो इसका मतलब है कि इफ आई बिल्ड एनीथिंग इन दिस ब्लॉक इट शुड बी लेस देन दिस वन, राइट? मैं पूरे घर पे अंदर आपको फर्दर डिवाइड करने लगा हूँ इसको. सो लेट्स डू इट. सो आई हैव अवेलेबिलिटी जोन ए in this and then I have availability zone in the region availability zone 2. In availability zone A I have a subnet. Remember the VPC is on the regional level and now we are talking about the this is the apartments and inside the apartment. This is what we're doing here. Public subnet. In the public subnet I have a EC2 server running. And now these two subnet has a network ACL, a network access control is attached to this subnet. See, it's right on the subnet level. ये चीज़ें आपको याद रखनी है. ACL is always on the subnet level. Now, I have other security layer, which is other firewall is called security group. So this group is inside the subnet and next it's protecting these devices and server itself. So outside the network is NACL, inside the network is security group. Any question?
सर ये लेक्चर रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है?
Yes. Any question here?
So, sir, the security group is a security guard in our apartment protecting our items.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Inside the apartment, not outside. Outside the apartment is, think about this network access control list. So now think about this apartment is, on the big picture, this apartment is like, convert the whole apartment into subnet. ठीक है ना, उस अपार्टमेंट को पूरे को कंसिडर करो, दिस इज़ वन सबनेट, एंड आपने पूरी स्पेस को एज ए सबनेट यूज़ कर लिया है. यू आर नॉट डिवाइडिंग फर्दर, छोटे छोटे कमरे नहीं बना रहे, यू आर मेकिंग जस्ट वन बिग रूम, एंड दैट बिग रूम इज़ ए सबनेट, राइट? So within apartment you have a subnet, you need a security outside the apartment subnet. So anybody go in, he has to go through the network access control list, and once he is in the apartment, then he has to use the other key to open the other door, which is they call security group. आपके अपार्टमेंट के अंदर जितनी भी चीज़ें उसको सिक्योर करने के लिए यू नीड अ सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप. अपार्टमेंट के अंदर आने और जाने के लिए जो है ना, देन यू नीड ए नेटवर्क एक्सेस कंट्रोल लिस्ट. सो कंसीडर द होल अपार्टमेंट इज़ अ वन सबनेट नाउ. जो पहले मैंने एग्जांपल दी थी, ये VPN अपार्टमेंट है, उसके अंदर भी सबनेट्स हैं. सो लेट्स सी कि हमने उसको सिर्फ पूरे अपार्टमेंट को एक सबनेट बना दिया. तो इस कॉन्सेप्ट को समझने के लिए, even though you can have a more subnet, I will show you in the next classes, you can have many subnets in one apartment, so in one availability zone. So that's another thing. But to understand the concept of this network access control list and the security group, always think the network access control list at the subnet level, and the security group is at the instance level.
So I have a question, Naeem Saab. The question is, can there be infinite amounts of subnets that you can even make in a room, as an example?
Okay, so see, ये बिल्कुल ऐसी मिसाल है कि अगर आपने, I don't know how you measure that, 1300 स्क्वायर मीटर का प्लॉट ले लिया, right? Then you're going to divide that plot into different small areas. So the capacity is find out by this /16, how big this network going to be. So if I have a 16, so 65 means you can have a lot of capacity here. So you can have a many subnet, and you can subdivide those subnet into like a small subnet. If I put the value here, like for this subnet, I say this is like 10.0.0.0/26. So that's mean I will have more than 6, maybe 24, I believe. क्या कहते हैं, IP addresses for this subnet. And then you say I want another subnet in this, then you can assign 10.0.0.25/26. This is going to be the block for the other subnet. This is one subnet, this is another subnet, again in the same VPC, same availability zone, and this kind of you can have as S1, subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. So you know how much capacity you have because of your VPC. In the VPC you can further divide these subnets into small chunks.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. So where was I? और किसी को ये कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? Oh, okay, let's go for it.
Yes, sir. हो गया. I have a question. Sir, in terms of a business entity, like for example Netflix or bank, ये VPC उनका एक ही होगा या they will have different VPCs in different cities, या हर जो branch है उसका different VPC होगा? मुझे थोड़ी सी इसमें confusion आ रही है.
हाँ, नहीं, तुम कोई कंफ्यूज होने की जरूरत नहीं.
I mean, can we have multiple VPC?
एग्जैक्टली आगे चल के हम बताएंगे. उसको कहते हैं VPC पेयरिंग. मतलब एक VPC है, वो है लंदन ईस्ट में, दूसरा है VPC इन लंदन वेस्ट में. सो दोज टू VPC आर इंडिपेंडेंट आइसोलेटेड लॉजिकल यूनिट, बट वी गोइंग टू क्रिएट द कनेक्शन बिटवीन दैम. So traffic will flow through seamlessly with the different VPC, even though they are independent and they were owned by the Netflix. So they have created different VPC in different region, and then we are going to connect those VPC. तो अच्छा सवाल है तुम्हारा, लेकिन तुमने बहुत पहले पूछ लिया. Because I'm going gradually. So then we have multiple VPC talking to each other seamlessly. तो उसे हम कहते हैं VPC peering, right? So again,
okay, I'll wait.
Yeah. So again, we have here the router is a traffic guy, and this router has the information attached to this. Each router will have a routing table. What is routing table? Routing table has the information about the VPC and each and every device in the VPC and the subnet. So see here, if you can read this called VPC peer. Remember, I just mentioned the word VPC peer here. Ali, can you see? This is where I have my mouse. Are you there? Hello?
Sir, it's right in the center.
नहीं, मैं कोई बोल नहीं रहा, मैं कि शायद मैं डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया. Okay, so see, this is VPC peer. So I will talk about this. What is this? So we have a router, and these router has a two routing table attached to it, right? So see the block size here, 10.0.0.1.0/28. How much 28 has? I think 28 has how many? There's a formula actually. Chalo, let me check, because he asked me this question. So if I put 28 here, so I have 16, and what is the IP address? This is 1.0. So I have a 16 IP addresses for this particular subnet. See, this is the block size of my subnet, and router has a routing table attached to it, and the router is sending the traffic, and there's two kinds of traffic now. One is called the local traffic, so other is called external traffic. The router is responsible to direct the traffic. The router understand which traffic is for local people and which is people coming from outside. So from outside, when you come into this environment in the VPC, you need an internet gateway. So if I have a EC2 web server running in the public subnet, then I will have a public IP address, and that IP address will be sending the traffic outside the VPN and also receiving the traffic from outside to the server through this router, and the router is going to direct the traffic on the basis of the information he has in the routing table. Any question?
No sir, all clear.
Okay, great. तो ये चीज़ें कॉन्सेप्ट आपको क्लियर होना चाहिए यहाँ तक कि नेटवर्क एक्सेस कंट्रोल लिस्ट जो है वो सबनेट लेवल पे होती है. एग्ज़ाम के अंदर वो आपको कंफ्यूज करेंगे, इस तरह के क्वेश्चन बना के वो सिनेरियो बनाएंगे, वो सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप को पहले रख देंगे और नेटवर्क को पीछे रख देंगे. आपको पूछेंगे कि ये जो नेटवर्क है इसका ट्रैफिक फ्लो जो है ना वो नहीं जा रहा, क्योंकि नेटवर्क एक्सेस लिस्ट की फंक्शनैलिटी इज़ डिफरेंट दैन द सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप. So they're going to confuse, they're going to create a scenario with this one. So you must have this kind of knowledge that the network access control is at the subnet level, and the security group is at next to the device, next to the आपकी जो closet है घर के अंदर जिसके अंदर सामान पड़ा हुआ उसके सामने है. So create this kind of scenario and picture and this terminology which I'm using right now, closet and private bedroom, and अगर ये तीसरी चीज़ें आपने अपने जहन में बिठा ली तो फिर आपको जितना मर्जी चैलेंजिंग क्वेश्चन आए you will first thing you're going to look, okay, NACL, this scenario is describing the NACLs attached to the network or is it attaching this to the server? So वहाँ पे आपको फ़ौरन जवाब नज़र आ जाएगा उसका. You can find the answer. So I'm stopping right here. So as I said, we're gonna go slow. तो ये concept clear हो गया. Now we're going to talk about the component. कि VPC क्या होता है, सबनेट को क्या डेफिनेशन. यू कैन एक्चुअली रीड योरसेल्फ व्हाट इज़ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन पब्लिक एंड प्राइवेट सबनेट. आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास टुमारो, एंड देन वी विल गो डीप डाइव इनटू दिस काइंड ऑफ डेफिनेशन. और ये जितने भी आप यहाँ पढ़ रहे हो, आई नो यू व्हेन आई स्टार्ट टीचिंग एंड स्टार्ट touching different area and create the scenario which is like a practical scenario of your day-to-day life, I try to make an analogy. So it's raise so many questions in your mind, because believe me, we have an answer for all those your questions, but I am going in a sequence. So the question you were talking about to me, where is this? So this is what is the name? Your name, Ali. So see, I'm just going to be quick. See these VPC A, B, C belong to one company. Think about that. It's called Amazon, Netflix, and they are talking to each other. Okay, so we will deep dive into this topic. So as I said, in this VPN we have so many topics to talk. So I'm going to end this class today here. I want you to consume this information and then think about that. Also, I have given you an assignment, which is this: what is DevOps? I want you to. I gave the link in the. Where is that? Yeah, here in the stream. In this stream, you can click on there and you can see the this page. And I want you to go through, because as I said, you are not going to be a solution architect until you also have this kind of information. You don't have to be expert in this, but you should understand the environment and the methodology behind that. What is this DevOps, delivery pipeline, and the model. So understand this, just go through these. You don't have to be expert, but it is good reading for your job's sake. Any question before I close this session? Hello?
No sir.
इतना पॉज लंबा होता है, मुझे लगता है कि पता नहीं सारे चले गए, मैं अकेला ही बैठा हूँ.
It's just everyone's quite taking the hardest subject right now.
I think it takes us quite a bit to unmute, because we have to obviously click on unmute and then speak.
So what do you think so far up to this level? मैंने अभी सिर्फ छोटा सा पीस आपको, यानी कि जो मेरा अक्सर मकसद था ना, आपको कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर करूँ. VPN, ग्लोबल लेवल एक्सेस, रीजनल लेवल एक्सेस, what is network access control list, and the flow. I just show you the example I gave you. What do you guys think about that? That makes complete sense to you, or you still have a doubt in it?
It makes sense to me, sir. So, and it's very thorough. So I prefer it if it's slow rather than skipping through bits. So it's really useful.
Yeah, and that's why I'm keeping it short. मैं ज़्यादा टाइम कल से जो हमारे क्वेश्चन शुरू हो रहे हैं वो भी बता देता हूँ. कल से हम EC2 को जो है ना उसके क्वेश्चन रिव्यू करने वाले हैं. So we'll go hand in hand, like with the reviewing question, understanding the one concept at a time, and I don't want to push too much on you. और इसके अलावा ये है कि the goal is this: after the class, completing this topic, you should spend 2 weeks for preparing the exam and then go for it. Inshallah, everybody going to pass the exam. Haris will talk to you and he will give you some tips how to write exam, what you think, consider, and percentage of the questions, like this is the most important. मुझे जब मैथ कर रहा था ना, मुझे से किसी ने कहा था if you know the VPC you can easily pass the exam, because so सारी चीज़ें वो यही टेस्ट करते हैं. Even this is not only for the passing the exam, this is very very critical when you go for the job interview. They are not going to talk about much about the SNS and SQS. They are always talking about the VPN part in the interview. उनको पता है कि ये ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर आपको कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं, आर्किटेक्चर नहीं आता, बाकी तो ऐसे ही है ना, जैसे आप बाज़ार में जाके कोई भी चीज़ ख़रीद लें तो बाकी तो इंटीग्रेट करनी है आपने चीज़ें. SQS करवा लिया, SNS कर लिया, आपने क्लाउड वॉच कर लिया. These are just you are attaching to your system, but the main architect is the VPN. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the class today.
कितनी क्लासेस होंगी इनकी VPC की?
I was trying to cover in 4 to 5 classes. ये मेरा गोल है, इसको 4 to 5 classes में cover कर दूँ.
Guys, I just wanted to add one more thing. Apologies about the class that was cancelled on Friday. That was a mistake that I made. It was supposed to be actually that day. But we will have a class tomorrow. But this is just a one-time thing. So we're just catching up for Friday on Sunday, but then we'll go back to Friday and Saturday. So just letting you guys know. And Naeem Saab, if you can stay after the class, you and Tanveer Saab and I will have a conversation. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. One more thing I want to suggest is, Naeem Saab, once you have your slides finished, please pass it over to me so I can actually pass it over to the content delivery team so they can see if they can check for any mistakes on the slide or any of the stuff. Yeah, so we can actually fix it up. And at the same time, agar uske par koi design bhi karna ho to main Junaid ko jo hai, I'll get him to work on that, or Michelle.
Definitely. That will be helpful, क्योंकि मैं अकेला ही लगा रहता हूँ, तो अगर कोई सेकंड रिव्यू करेगा ना, हो सकता है मैंने काफ़ी मिस्टेक की हो, स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक या दूसरी. So
not an issue. Right. Not an issue. I just wanted to make sure because most people are here right now. So most of them are active in the other teams as well. So they would be ready to do that too. So inshallah.
Okay, great.
So
दूसरा ये जो है, मैंने वो इसमें 2 कॉलम ऐड किए हैं. Please go ahead. You already have a link. Fill that out. और उसको ज़रा कर लें, क्या कहते हैं, स्किल मैट्रिक्स जो है उसको फिल कर दें.
Yeah, guys, fill out this skill matrix, and then we just have to look at what skill sets you have, and we'll devise different roles for everyone in Bizvaria at the moment, this very moment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Khuda Hafiz.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.